Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So in chapter 13, what are the questions which Arjuna asked Krishna? What are the questions?
Prakriti Purusha Kshetri Kshetragya Jnanagya.
So Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, and Jnana and Jnaya. Okay. And Krishna start explaining. Little network issue I'll see and then improve, and if it's improved I'll on the video. Okay, I think this we think. Okay, yeah. So sloka number 13, yes. The 13. Okay. So who is the Kshetra? Who's Kshetra? What did we learn about Kshetra? Kshetra is the
Field of activity, body.
Yes, Neetu Mataji. Who's Kshetrajna?
Soul, super soul.
Mataji, the knowledge of soul, super soul,
Soul.
the knowledge of the field of activities.
Yes.
One who knows the body is called Kshetragya.
Soul and super soul is the Kshetrajna. Okay, the one who knows the body. So we have seen that in the last class, Kshetra, Kshetrajna. And also now we'll see about 13 to 19 sloka about Jnayam, the object of knowledge. Okay, so what is actually the object of knowledge? The real knowledge is what? Real knowledge means the Paravidya. Paravidya. So Paravidya, real knowledge is to know the. What is real knowledge?
Know the Supreme Lord, Mataji.
Yeah, to know the.
To know about Krishna.
Yes, to know Krishna and to know difference between matter and spirit. Okay, so we'll see Jnayam, that is object of knowledge. So Jivera Surubhoi, Krishnera Nityadas, Krishnera Tadastha Shakti, Beda Pragyasha. Jivera Surubhoi, Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternal servants of Krishna. That is our real position. Okay, eternal position of the living entities. So in the 13th sloka is understanding living entity as knowable. That is Jnayam Yattad Pravakshyami Yajñatva Ashnute Anadi Matparam Brahma Natsathan Nashad Uchyati. So now Krishna is saying that he'll explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. So in chapter 2 also we saw about the soul, that living entity is eternal. And there is no specific date at which we can say the Jiva was born. It's time immemorial. Nor can anyone trace out the history of Jivatma's manifestation from the Lord. Okay, so eternally we are like part and parcel of the Lord, and we are in the service of the Supreme Lord. Okay, it's conferred in Bhagavad Gita also. 14 to 18 is about the qualities of the super soul. So who says super soul in our heart? Krishna in which form?
Kshirodakshaya Vishnu.
Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Okay, so Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, the Lord. Now the qualities of Paramatma, the super soul, is the what we are going to see in the next 4 slokas. Sarvata pani padam tat sarvato Shishiro Mukam Sarvada Shuddhimal Loke Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. So everywhere. Sarvata means everywhere. So everywhere, that means his hands and legs, everywhere, his eyes, heads, faces, everywhere, his ears. In the sense, Krishna is all pervading. Everywhere Krishna is there. Even in an atom, he's there. Even though he is in the supreme abode, still he is present everywhere, right? In the same time. That is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. And Sarvendriya Guna Bhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, Asaktam Sarva Bracheva, Nirgunam Gunabhoktacha. So he is the original source of all senses and he's devoid of material senses. He's unattached, though he is the maintainer of all. And he's the master of the modes, yet transcendental to them. So what is the example given in the purport by Srila Prabhupada? Krishna is like what? Krishna is compared to what? Because he's everywhere. Like the 14th sloka. First line, Purport.
Like sun has unlimited rays.
Yeah, so the sun, right? The sun, unlimited rays, and it goes everywhere. Like, so unlimited rays, and that is same like that, how the super soul is also existing everywhere. Okay, so the similarity is compared to the sun. Okay, so why is Krishna compared to a sun? Yes, who knows? Why is Krishna compared to a sun?
Because we can see him and we can feel the sun rays.
Yes, so the sun rays is compared to the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. Yes, so like that, similarly, Krishna also has an effulgence. It was said that the sky is blue because it's the reflection of Krishna's body. The Krishna's body, the bluish black complexion of the Lord, it just comes out or manifests outside. It's the Brahma Jyoti. That is why it gives color to the sky. So as Mother said, yes, the sun has the sun rays. You cannot separate the sun rays from the sun. Similarly, Krishna, the Brahman, is also Krishna's effulgence coming from Krishna's body. Okay, that is one comparison. Why else Krishna is compared to a sun? Yes, Hare Krishna. You can put in the chat also. Detached, how is the sun detached, Prabhu? Like, okay, Krishna is detached, but about the sun, how do you tell the similarity?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Shri Krishna is compared to the sun. I would like to say that wherever the sunlight, sun rays goes, it purifies everything. Even
Yes.
even if it falls on a urine, the sunrise, the sun is not affected by it. It purifies that part. So in a similar way, Shri Krishna, he is present, also is not present, like that.
Oh, okay.
Just like the strings of the pearl.
Yes. So in that way, so is to the sun, because we know that sun purifies everything, right? Even if it's a urine on the floor, still in a place, and that place become purified by the sun rays. But does the sun get impure? No. So similarly, Krishna takes away all anarthas from us, but he doesn't get impure. Okay, that is another comparison. Okay, is Rajalakshmi Mataji any other comparison? Why Krishna is any other reason why Krishna is compared to the sun? Yes, Neetu Mataji.
Mataji, when sun is there, there is no darkness. Right?
Yes.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita it says that Krishna Surya Sam Maya hai andhikar. Jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya andhikar.
Yes. So Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakar. So Krishna is like sun and Maya is like darkness. So wherever there is sun, there is no darkness. So Yaha Krishna taha nahi Mayara Atikara. So even wherever there is Krishna, there is no ignorance. So similarly, wherever there is sun, there is no darkness. So yes, that is also another comparison why Krishna is compared to a sun. And do you say the sun died? I mean, now it's like at night in India. So do you say the sun died? No, it disappeared. Like, so Krishna also, he appears and disappears, not like Krishna is gone. No. So some other part, it's going to be day, right? In America, US and all, it's going to be day. So sun is visible there. Similarly, Krishna in every planet, he do different leelas. Now it's Kali Yuga in this planet, in this our planet. But then doesn't mean it is Kali Yuga in all the planetary system. It might be Dwapara in some other planetary system. Krishna is doing his pastimes there, right? And yes, sun is always there. That means Krishna is always there with us. It might be behind a cloud. The sun might be behind a cloud. Now it's a rainy season, so we don't get to see the sun rays. But then does it mean the sun is not there? No. Morning when you get up, you can actually see that sunlight. Like, you may not completely visible. It's visible because the clouds are covering your vision, not the sun. So similarly, Krishna gets covered by, our vision gets covered by Maya, and then we may not be able to see the Lord. So that way also Krishna is compared to the sun. Yes, Krishna is self-effulgent. The sun is also self-effulgent. That's what I said, the Brahman. Okay, that is one thing. Sun behind clouds we can't see, but under by its lights. Yeah, so the clouds are covering actually our vision, not Krishna. So Suvina Mataji says, without sun, nothing can exist. Yes. So similarly, the Lord, and also Krishna's mercy is compared to sun rays. Okay. Like the sun rays fall on everyone. Okay. Except whom? Where does the sun rays doesn't fall? It falls everywhere equally, right? Similarly, Krishna is not partial to anyone. Equally, he is distributing his mercy. But where does the sun ray doesn't, why people, where is that we don't get advantage of that sun rays?
And himself, Mataji? Sun himself.
No, like, I mean outside, like
Mhm.
the sun rays or the mercy is going on everything.
In the thick forest, he cannot enter. Rays cannot penetrate.
Something like that, similar to that. Like in a forest, if there is a cave, okay, and there is a dark cave inside where it's very dark and the sunlight is not entering, and there are people inside that, then they cannot get that sun rays. So they can't say, oh, the sun is so partial, the sun is just giving sunlight to out, but they themselves are hiding in the cave. They should come out of the cave. So similarly, those who work for Krishna in Krishna consciousness, spreading Krishna consciousness, doing service, they will get more mercy than somebody who is hiding in a cave of comfort zone. Like they don't, and Dipti says, yeah, who doesn't turn towards the sun? Yeah, they don't get the benefit. So similarly, those who don't turn towards Krishna will not get that special mercy. That doesn't mean sun is partial. Similarly, Krishna is not partial in that way. So many comparisons why we compare the Krishna to a sun. Sarvendriya gunapasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrikshaiva nirguna guna bhaktacha. The super soul is the origin of all the senses and he is without senses. So why is we saying Krishna is not without any senses? He has senses.
Mataji, because Krishna does not have material qualities. He's
material
transcendent.
senses. In that, you can also say material. So Krishna's senses are not material. See, with our eyes, we can only see, right? We can't hear with our eyes. But for Krishna, just by his eyes, he can eat your offering, the bhoga. Krishna has to just glance at it. And then the creation can happen. So, Angani yasya sagalendriya vritti mandi. All his senses can be interchangeable. But ours is not like that. Ours is material. So, in this sense that Krishna doesn't have any material sense, that's why it says without senses. Another thing is all the senses are interchangeable. So he's unattached, although he's the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, right? Krishna is in Shuddha Sattva. At the same time, he's the master of all the modes of material nature. He's transcendental to Gunatita. Also, you can see that Krishna is beyond the three modes of material nature. Bahir antasya bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukrimatvat sukshmavat Sukshmatvat tad avijneyam durastam shantike chatat. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. So can anybody explain the last sentence? Although far, far away, he is also near to all. In which way is Krishna far and near? Yes, Avik Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I can't hear you.
He is omnipresent. Krishna is omnipresent.
Okay.
He is always there. My name means when Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was trying to kill Prahlad, he was present through the pillars.
Yes.
Right. He is present everywhere. I'm unable to explain, Mataji, but
yeah, understood. Okay, so that's what that means. Prahlad is a devotee. Yes, in that way,
yes.
For a devotee, Krishna is very near. But for Hiranyakashipu, he could not see it was the Lord. Okay. Dipti Mother says yes, Krishna is in Goloka, but also in a heart as Paramatma. Yes. So that is one more thing. Kusumlata Mataji.
Krishna is in Dham, in his Dham, plus he is in our heart also.
Yes.
As Shirokdakshaya Vishnu. And in a Vishwarup, he was almost everywhere from earth to the sky.
Yes. So we can say that Krishna is far, far away because he's in Goloka. Yes, he's in his abode, which is very far. But Krishna is in our heart as Paramatma, so he's very near to us. No? So who can be very near to us than the Paramatma? Paramatma is always with you. Whichever body we go, even if we become a worm in the stool, it is said like that's the worst type of life we can get. But even if we get that, Krishna comes with us as Paramatma, right? He accompanies us in all our janmas or all our life. So he's very near to us. But he is far away in the sense in his abode. Yes, okay. So that is one thing. And this explains the Ishopanishad mantra 5 also. I'll discuss it after end of the class. Just somebody remind me that Krishna moves, he doesn't move, he's far, he's near, he's inside and outside, like that. So different contradictory statements, but this is all Krishna because he's inconceivable potency. Krishna can be everywhere, right? At the same time, but not like us. We think the Lord to be like one of us. So that's our problem. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam vivachastitam bhutapatar cha tatnyam Rashishnu Prabhavishnu cha. Although the supersoul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of all living entity, he is said to be understood that he diverges and develops all. So Krishna is the maintainer of everyone. So he is beyond the darkness of matter and he is maintained all living entities. That is, Eko Bahunamiyo Vidutati Kama. Krishna is the one who actually maintains everyone. And okay, we think that we are getting maintained by our salary, our boss, or whatever it is, but it's all because of the Lord we are getting the supply. Jyot, okay. Jyotisham apitat jyotis tamasa param uchyate. Jnanam Kneyam Jnanagamyam Hridi Sarvasya Vistitam. He is the source of light in all illumination objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is the knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. He is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. So Krishna is in everyone's heart. Hridi Sarvasya Vistitam. So he is not only situated in human beings' heart, in all the living entities, right? Krishna is equally present. So that is what is real knowledge, to understand that Krishna is everywhere. So 13.19 says the qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita, like who is the one who is able to understand Gita. Iti kshetram tatat jnanam jneyam choktam samasataha mat bhakta etat vijnaya matha bhayo papatyate. So mat bhakta, right? Only devotees can understand Krishna. That the field of activity is the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly, and thus it came to my nature. So bhaktyama vichanari, right? Only devotees. If you go and tell a non-devotee, Krishna walks, doesn't walk, he's inside, outside, he's far, he's near, they laugh at us. They're like, what are you saying? Because it's very contradictory. But for us, yes, we knows that yes, Krishna is unlimited and he has Achintya Shakti. And because that devotion, that faith should be there in the Lord. Okay, so initially before coming to Bhagavad Gita class, we might have a different opinion about the Lord. But now, as we keep chanting in the association of devotees and learn Shastras, we come to know more and more about Krishna, right? And he reveals to you. He himself is revealing to you because you are very dear to Krishna. So Krishna reveals Swayameva Svaratyata by his own mercy. Be pleased with your service. So the qualification to understand Krishna is nothing but devotional service or bhakti. So far in chapter 13, Krishna is describing the body is Kshetra, knowledge, jnana, and knowable jnaya. Prabhupada says it is specially described here that only unallowed devotees of the Lord can understand, right? Kshetra, jnana, jnaya. So for the devotees, Bhagavad Gita is fully useful. It is they who can attain the supreme goal, the nature of the supreme Lord Krishna. In other words, only devotees and not others can understand Bhagavad Gita and derive the desired result. So in level 1 class, so many non-devotees, many might come. So initially we try to convince them, but by if in case Krishna's mercy, Vaishnava's mercy, they get that faith, and then what happens? They become devotees, and then only they'll be able to understand Krishna. Till then, they might read Bhagavad Gita in a karmic style, not in a devotional way. But if you read in devotion way, you can see Krishna, you can see Bhakti Yoga in every chapter. No, because Krishna is there. Prabhupada says you can see Krishna in every page of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So similarly, he's there everywhere. But a devotee only can understand that. So only devotees, not others, can understand Bhagavad Gita and derive the desired results. Okay, so can somebody put more light on this? Any examples that only devotees can understand Bhagavad Gita and derive the desired result? Yes, last group discussion. Avik Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I think, Prabhu, you have network issue. I'm not able, your voice is breaking. Not able to hear you, Prabhu. Yeah, Sharon, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. What
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada is trying to say that only devotees and not others can understand Bhagavad Gita and derive the desired result. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna surrenders to Sri Krishna and becomes his devotee and accepts Sri Krishna as his guru and follows his instruction because Sri Krishna tells him that if you fight this battle, be in his consciousness and leave everything to Sri Krishna. So in that way, being a devotee first, Arjuna was able to understand the jewel of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and then he attained the desired result by annihilating all the miscreants, all the Kauravas. Similarly, in our life, we can see in this age of Kali as well. For example, Namanishra Das Prabhuji also, he knows that Bhagavad Gita is the ultimate truth. And being a devotee and being under Guru Shishya Parampara, he's trying to inculcate within us the knowledge of Gita and being very merciful to all of us. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Neetu Mataji, something to add?
Mataji, in Bhagavad Gita, like 7.25, Krishna says that Naha Prakasha Sarvasya, right? So Krishna never manifests to the foolish and intelligent. Non-devotees basically are like envious of Krishna. They are after the material desires. So they are always covered by the external energy of Krishna. They never understand Krishna's supremacy. On the other hand, devotees are fully surrendered to Krishna. Like they are fully convinced that bhakti is the only path to reach to Krishna. So they constantly engage, and in return, Krishna reciprocate and give them the intelligence so that they can attain him. Like example, one of the great example of the pure devotee is none other than our beloved Srila Prabhupada, like how he turned all the hippies into the bhaktas, like at the age of 70. This is the magic of pure devotee, right? He has no good health, he has no money, but he turned all the hippies into happies. And then like in Bhagavad Gita itself, like Krishna showed the universal form to like Arjuna also, and also to the Duryodhan. But Duryodhan did not accept Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Whereas Arjuna, after seeing the universal form, paid obeisance 1,000 times and accept him as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even in the case of Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu, we see that like Prahlad Maharaj was devotee and Lord came him to save him. But Hiranyakashipu, being a non-devotee, did not accept him the Lord. And even if we see the devotee and non-devotee, devotee only understand the value of prasadam, Mataji, but non-devotee can never understand the value of prasadam.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Devika Mataji. Right.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, as for the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that just do the work, leave the result to him.
Yes.
So, and moreover, devotees will not desire anything except doing the devotional service unto Krishna.
Yes. So Krishna says, Ma Paleshu Tadashana. So he is the one who is giving us the results. And also a devotee will not ask any other, he doesn't have any other desire like pure devotees like Kanya Abhilashya Shunyam. So in that way, yes, only devotees can understand Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. Unless we have faith in the Lord, and the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord, so how we have faith in Bhagavad Gita? So first we should have faith in Krishna, and then yes, derive the benefit means they can apply it in their life because they are able to have faith in the Lord. Okay. Krishna was to speak Bhagavad Gita to Duryodhana, but he refused. But Arjuna humbly surrendered. Yes, heard Gita from Krishna because Arjuna is devotee. Yes. So Duryodhana was not able to, even Dhritarashtra for that matter, no? The Sanjay explained the whole Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra. But was there any change in Dhritarashtra? No, because he's a non-devotee. So like Duryodhana also. So that is the difference. So only a devotee, because they had faith to listen to somebody and take the advice. We should have faith in that person. No, we discuss something with your friends or somebody. And unless we have faith in that person, how will we accept what they say? So similarly, the devotees, they have faith in Krishna. That is the real difference between a devotee and a non-devotee, right? Faith or Shraddha. So that is one thing. So we'll continue with the 20th sloka. So having faith is very important. How do you develop that faith? How can we develop faith in the Lord?
Mataji, in the association of the devotees, when we, like we discussed in the in the question bank, like when we serve devotee, we get the Mahat Kripa and Sattam Seva. And before the faith, there is two things, right? Mahat Seva and Sattam Kripa.
Yes. So Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa. So by that, Shraddha develops. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. The 9 stages. Before that, there is Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa, right? So in the association, you have to serve the Vaishnava. Like today morning, we were discussing that serving Vaishnavas means a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada by hearing his lectures and reading his books, like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So if you read all that, then we are actually serving a pure devotee. Then what happens? Our faith in Krishna increases. So if our faith is not strong, then what should we do? We should serve a pure devotee by Vani Seva. Okay, so either hear Prabhupada's lecture, start reading Prabhupada's books. So now you are doing Bhakti Shastri, so finish Bhagavad Gita and then go to Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Upanishads. All these are scriptures. And then when you go to Bhakti Vaibhav, you can read Bhagavatam again. So all that will definitely help us to develop faith in Krishna. So continuing with 20th sloka, 20-26 about Prakriti, Purusha and their union. So we'll see more about Prakriti and Purusha. So that's the 20th sloka. Krishna explains. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Viti Anadi Ubhav Api Vikaram Sha Gunam Shaiva Viti Prakriti Sambhavan. The material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginless. Their transformation and the modes of matter are products of material nature. So material nature is basically the product of three modes. So similarity and differences between the material nature we'll see and the living entity. So material nature is which energy of the Lord? It is the which energy?
External energy of the Lord.
External or it's also called as
Maya.
yes, the Maya.
Bahranga Shakti.
Another
Inferior
classification.
energy.
Inferior energy, very good. And the living entity is the superior energy. So why are we superior? Why is Prakriti inferior? Why is it like that?
We are part and parcel of the Lord.
So why are we superior?
And we have buddhi to understand.
Not only that, little more. Yes, Avik Prabhu, you have very bad network problem. Just check.
Now,
Type in the chat. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Now can you hear me?
Better.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, because we are on the, we are like Tathastha Shakti, or we are on the margin. We can choose between the external energy and internal energy.
No, that is Tadasya Shakti and external energy. But I'm asking superior and inferior. Why is living entity superior and material nature inferior? There's Rajalakshmi Mataji. You know?
Part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So we are superior. Okay. Not definite. Okay, that is one might be an external reason, but the real reason is that we can load it over material nature, or we can control the three modes. Three modes controls us, but sometimes if we come to Krishna consciousness, then we can dominate the three modes. Yes, Devika Mataji, you want to add something?
No, Mataji.
Okay, so the three modes, yes, the three modes of material nature is the inferior energy, and we say load it over material nature. In the sense, we are the living entity wants to enjoy the material nature. The material nature is to be enjoyed by them. Okay, so the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Purusha, the master, controller, enjoyer. Real enjoyer is Krishna actually. Bhoktaram, the proprietor and maintainer. But the Jiva or the living entity is the energy of the Lord, but he is not the master or controller. But still the Jiva is sometimes called Purusha due to his mentality of being the master. Mystery of material creation is that both the living entities and material nature are eternal. The difference is material nature has constant transformation and the nature of living entity is non-changing because we are all Satchidananda. When the living entity falls down to the material world, It's due to his rebellious nature. That, oh, what happened? Due to our rebellious nature, we fell down because of okay. Yeah, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Yes, and we are to be enjoyed actually in that way. Prakriti. So Krishna stresses, he's saying that all the transformation and influences of material nature is by the three modes of material nature. As far as spirit soul is concerned, the living entities are all the same, and all transformation and varieties are due to the different body. So relationship between Prakriti and Jiva. So did we discuss this? What is the relationship between Jiva, the super soul, and the material nature? Is there any connection between the three? How do you connect them? The Jiva, the super soul, and the material nature. Yes. How do you connect them in case of some activity, like something has to be happen? How is these three working?
By sense organ, Mataji. Through sense
Okay,
organ.
the sense. So that means
Mataji, Jiva is attracted by the material nature, and the super soul only observes Jiva.
yeah, Mataji, just wait. I was just discussing about Vedika Mataji's point. So she said here about the senses. Yeah. So what happens with like with the senses, the living entity desire things, like so many things, like they want to eat something, smell something. So the senses, in one way, that is we desire. Okay. So that is one thing. Then the Jiva's desire. Yes. And what did Kusmalata Mataji say? That we are part and parcel.
We are part and parcel. Jiva
Okay.
is attracted by the material nature.
Jiva is
attracted by the material nature.
attracted. Okay.
Whereas the super soul observes the Jiva.
Okay, he observes. So that means Krishna is the witness. Okay. The Jiva desires, Krishna witnesses. Okay. Two birds sitting in the tree, that's fine. That's only the super soul. What about material nature?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Super soul sanction it.
Yeah, Neeta Mother says the super soul sanctions, very good. So the Jiva desires, with our senses, we try to desire many things. But unless Krishna sanctions, it will not happen. Right? Krishna has to sanction it, the super soul. It seems without Krishna's permission, a blade of grass also doesn't move. So we need his sanction. And what is the role of material nature here? The
Carries
Jiva
out the
desires,
action.
super soul sanctions it, and the material nature
Carries out the action.
carries out or conducts that action. So if we have a desire, like for example, okay, it's a temple opening coming, and you all had the desire to come. Okay, so that's a spiritual desire, but still, you want to come for the opening of the temple. So you had a desire. Now what happens? The material nature carries it out in the sense all the you fix the date and time, and then you book your tickets. All this is the material nature allowing you to do it, being Sattva-guna, because otherwise in Tamoguna, Rajoguna, you feel like, oh, why should we go, all that, and so many other thoughts coming. But unless Krishna sanctions, it will not work. No, he has to sanction, or he has to keep your health fit and give you all positive situations so that everything can be managed at home and everything. And Krishna sanctions it, and then it takes place. So this is how the three of them are connected. The Jiva desires, the super soul sanctions, and the three modes of material nature carries it out. So we are not the doer. If we think we are the doer, no. Unless Krishna sanctions, it will not happen. Unless the material nature carries it out, it will not happen. So Prakriti is the material nature, is said to be the cause of all material causes. Purusha is the cause of his own happiness and distress. So Prabhupada says, because we have the desire to load it over material nature, the Jiva is in the material world. Load it over material nature means we want to enjoy, we want to become the master. The Supreme Lord is so kind upon the living entity that he always accompanies the individual soul in all circumstances, right? Whichever body we go, Krishna comes to us. And we are not bothered about Krishna. So many janmas, Krishna comes with us, but we never turn to the Lord. Just imagine you go to somebody's house and so many times you get neglected by them. Will you go to that house anymore? No. But Krishna, being neglected so many lives, So, but still he comes with us. So that's his mercy, Krishna's kindness. Kamvadayalum Karanam Rachima. So transmigration of the living entities from one body to another. So what causes this and why is happening? Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhute Prakriti Guna Karanam Guna Sangasya Sagasat Yoni Janmashu. So why are we taking birth in different yonis? Why? Because of Karanam Guna Sangha Asya, because of the association of the three modes. The living entity in the material nature follows the way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to its association with the material nature, as he meets with good and evil among various species. Like, for example, you are in Tamoguna, means you always like to sleep, so lazy, never gets up at Brahma Muhurta or chanting around that and Mangaluru. So when you become like that, what happens is material nature will not give you a human body next. You will become like that. You will like to sleep more. So there are some animals, no, you go for hibernation. So many months you sleep. So that's because you are associating with Tamoguna. Now you're in Rajoguna, so much of passion and all that desires, then material nature will give you in that mode. So by Krishna consciousness, we are elevating ourselves to Sattva and Shuddha Sattva. So Karana Guna Sangasya, with which mode we associate, we take birth like that. So we have to hear from the authorities. That's the solution. Unless one is situated in Krishna consciousness, material consciousness will oblige him to transfer from one body to another. That's because of so many unfulfilled material desires. But he has to change that conception. That change can be effected only by hearing from authoritative sources. Example is Arjuna hearing the signs of God from Krishna himself, right? So the living entity, if he submits to the hearing process, he will lose his long cherished desire to dominate the material nature, and gradually he reduces all his desires to dominate and he comes to enjoy spiritual happiness. Okay, so this is what the analogy is. The next sloka, the 23rd sloka, with the important analogy of the two birds sitting in the tree. Also, it is mentioned the Ubadrishta and Anumanta. The Lord is the overseer and the other, and he's the permitter. Upadrishta Anumantasya Vatra Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatmedi Chapyukto Dehe Asmin Purusha Para. Here in the body, there is another transcendent enjoyer who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as an overseer and permitter, and who is known as Super Soul. So that is about Krishna. Krishna as being the Paramatma Super Soul. And Prabhupada explains also that how the Lord is witnessing everything, and he never interferes in your minute independence, but okay. So Lord is very eager to take us back to Godhead. But because of our minute independence, the living entity is continuously rejecting the association of spiritual life. This misuse of independence is the cause of material life. No, that's why we are taking birth again and again. The Lord is therefore always giving instructions actually from within us. So from within, he gives us as Paramatma, and from without, he gives instructions in the Shastras and as Guru, spiritual master. Within, he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in the material field are not conducive to real happiness. And Krishna says, just give it up and turn your face towards me. So in the analogy of the two birds, what is the Jiva bird doing? Sitting on the branch of the same tree.
He just busy in eating fruits of the
fruit. That's compared to doing karma, right? He's busy doing his karma. And the Paramatma's bird is watching or witness, right? He's just a witness. Okay. (24) and 25 is the results of this knowledge about Prakriti, Purusha, and the three gunas, right? So what is the use of knowing all this? Krishna says, Ya evam vedi purusham prakritim cha gunaisaha sarvata vartmano apina sabhuya abhijayate. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, living entity, and the interaction of the three modes is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth again, and regardless of his present position. So that means it causes liberation. You know about Prakriti, Purusha, and the material nature. So other methods also is there to realize Paramatma. One is Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, meditation, Ashtanga and Dhyana Yoga by knowledge, and working without fruitive desires, Nishkama Sapna Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga is the highest. That's the best way to know the Lord. 26 says, Anyeta evam ajnata Utvanebhya upasate te api chaitarantyeva mrityu tuti parayanaha. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. So hearing from authorities is very important. Okay, like Srila Prabhupada and his representatives. So as a common man, if he's a good soul, then there is a chance of advancement in hearing. Hearing process is very important because Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, right? We have to first hear about the Lord, hear about his devotees, then only we'll be having faith. So hearing is important. Lord Chaitanya, who preached Krishna consciousness in the modern world, gave great strength to hearing. Because if a common man simply hears from the authority sources, he can progress, especially according to Lord Chaitanya. Mahaprabhu, if he hears the transcendental vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's why all Nagara Sankirtan and everything happens. And when you chant loudly, it benefits others. Yes, from a bona fide spiritual master. That's why we keep Prabhupada's japa on the background now when you chant. So that will help us. One should learn to become the servant of those who are in knowledge of the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to take shelter of a pure devotee, and we should hear from him about self-realization and follow his footsteps, then we will be gradually elevated to the position of a pure devotee. In this verse, the process of hearing is strongly recommended and is appropriate. Right? You have to hear from the right source. Although the common man is often not as capable as so-called philosophers, faithful hearing from an authoritative person will help one transcend the material existence and go back home again, go back to Godhead. We'll have a quick breakout room and then Mataji will post the terrace link. Explain the entanglement of living entity in the modes of material nature with reference to the Sanskrit phrases and analogies. Okay, it's 20 to 23. Yeah, I'll put the question. So go to Shloka 20 and 23. And then you have to little bit take some Sanskrit phrase and also analogies, okay? To say that the living entity is entangled in the modes of material nature. Like a preaching application. So how do you say by the reference in the slokas, like how do you say the living entity is being entrapped by the three modes of material nature? We'll have only 3 rooms. Let me come back.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
He's adding, Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, so all are back. So Mataji, you can post the attendance link. Don't it? Yes, so room number 1, who likes to speak?
Mataji, Deepa Mataji will.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Deepa here. We have noted something from the purports.
Yes.
The Lord says that those who are attracted by this material nature are undergoing a hard struggle for existence. And for this, they are not allowed to enter into the spiritual sky. Because of the desire of the living entities to lord it over the material nature, everyone is struggling hard to acquire different kinds of pleasures for the body. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters. Like some analogies are given over here. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the control of nature because of the body and acts according to the laws of nature. At the same time, he has no power to change the law. Like if he is in the body of a dog, he acts like a dog. If in the body of a hog, acts like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into the body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. This is only the law of nature. And due to this, his desire to lord it over material nature, he is sometimes put into such undesirable circumstances also. Sometimes as a demigod, under the influence of material desire, the entity is born sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as man, as beast, as bird, as worm, as an aquatic, or as a saintly man, or as a bug. And this is an ongoing process. Till that we have marked Mataji. Devika Mataji, if you want to add that shloka or something.
No, Mataji, continue.
Okay. Okay, that's what I have marked till text 22, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, in 23, I'll just add it to this, Mataji, in shloka
Yeah.
number 23. The individual is a bhukta or the sustained, and the Lord is a bhukta or the maintainer. There are innumerable living entities, and he is staying in them as a friend. Okay. As long as the conditioned soul by the material nature, the super Lord as his friend and super soul stay with him just to get him back to return to the spiritual energy. So Lord is always ready to help to get out of the trapping of the material nature. That's what one point I want to add. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Okay, so what about room number 2?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. We had a discussion regarding the entanglement of living entity in the modes of material natures. There are 3 modes of material nature: Sataguna, Rajaguna, Tamoguna. It is said that in the morning it's a Sataguna time, afternoon it's Rajaguna, and at night it's Tamoguna. And we all have experienced how these 3 effects in our daily routine. And Srila Prabhupada gives wonderful examples. And also in Bhagavad Gita, we can see that if a person is very lazy, he will get a life of a bear in his next life. If he is always exposing himself in this life, he will get a life of a tree. And these modes of material nature, everyone are bound by it. Not even demigods are not spared. We know how Kubera's sons, Manigriva and Nala Kubera, got cursed by Narada Muni because they were fully exposed, and Shri Krishna, and they got liberated by Shri Krishna. They got the life of a tree. which we can see in Bhagavad Gita. Whoever is exposing themselves more, they get life of a tree. So even demigods are not spared by that modes of material nature, the laws of nature, and we all are entangled by it. After undergoing 8,400,000 different species of life, in this human form of life, we have a chance to go back home, back to Godhead, by doing devotional service, loving devotional service, surrendering to Sri Krishna, listening to a bona fide spiritual master. By devotee association, we can slowly overcome these three modes and attain Shuddha Sattva Guna, or it is also said Vasudeva Guna. The analogy we discussed was of two birds sitting on a branch of a tree, where the one bird is eating a fruit and another bird is watching that bird. Our body is a soul. That one bird is considered as that, and another bird who is looking at that bird who is eating is Paramatma. He is the witness, and we are the doer. In Bhagavad Gita 13.21, like how Mataji also described, our soul does not change, the body changes. So if a soul gets body of a dog, he has to act according to that kind of material body. He will act like a dog. He is forced, he is bound by it. And because of that, because of our rebellious nature, we fall into the cycle of repeated birth and death. But Super Soul is always there. He is the witness. He knows we are acting according to this karma, laws of nature. And also in Bhagavad Gita 3.21, Mukunda Upanishad, Srila Prabhupada writes 3.1.1, Va Suparna Sayuja Sakhyaya, relating to that only, by giving the example of a dog. We also discussed the material nature, Prakriti, and the individual soul, Purusha, are both eternal. Prakriti is the source of all forms and qualities, while Purusha represents the conscious living entities. The modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, influence the living entities' experiences and actions. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Room number 3. Hare Krishna. So who all were in room number 3, please comment on mute.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Most of the points Sharan Prabhu had covered, Mataji. We have discussed from the verse number 22. The Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhunte Prakriti Chanadunam. So the living entity in the material nature thus follows the way of the life, enjoying the three modes of material nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus he matched with good and evil along with various species. Analogy we can give here, Mataji, like the forest fire begins when two pieces of the wood rub against one another, beginning with agitated with the wind. Actually, the fire does not belong neither to the wood nor to the wind. It always different from the both. Hare Krishna Mataji. Neetu Mataji will add some point. Neetu Mataji will add some point.
Yes.
No, Mataji, Prabhuji added like the Sanskrit verses that I want to add. Like I'm just want to add, like material nature is the cause of all transformation. All transformation which we are like going through the 8.4 million species. All the transformations are caused by the material nature. Like we are thinking that we are enjoying, but this is a place of miseries. Like this world is called the Dukhalema Shashvatam. If we live in the if we live in the water, there will be waves. So we can like cause is the like ocean, but we fall down into the material world. So that's why we are suffering. So and then that's it, Mataji. We are associating with the three modes of material nature. That's how we get the different bodies and we enjoy and suffer.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Okay, I think one thing I noticed was the question was to quote some Sanskrit verses, so some group missed that. But analogies, yes, almost it was covered. So when you concentrate on the points, I should also say the preaching application, how do we do it? And you should stress on the Sanskrit verses. At least the question was has that point, no? The Sanskrit, you have to quote that sloka or the verse or the point, the phrase also you can just say and then give its meaning. Next time, take care of all that. Okay. So I think one more class will be done with chapter 13. Next week we'll finish chapter 13. Okay, and then I'll yes. So we can. Did I post that third module question bank, Mataji? The old one is posted, right?
Yes,
Not the new
Mataji.
one.
The old one is posted. The new one is not.
New one is just getting ready, the practicing questions. So once it's ready, I'll be sharing. But till then, you'll have an idea which part to concentrate on the chapter. So please start preparing for that. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Okay. Anything to add or any questions? Okay, you can wind up.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Vaishnavi.